Hi, I'm Lillian Gray, South African fine artist, and this lesson is all about how to draw ears.
Let's just admit it, ears actually look super weird. They look frumpled up and make me think of a crumpled up cloth, or maybe a cauliflower. We tend to think of ears as super random, and I've seen many artists simply drawing little squiggles to depict them. A great cop-out. In this lesson, I will show you how to make sense of ears with an easy drawing technique. One you can use to either draw ears from memory or from a reference. First, let's just understand what ears are meant to do. The outer ear, called the concha, catches sound waves and channels them into the narrow passage called the ear canal. This is why the concha pushes the ear out at the top. The concha pushes the ear away from the head at the back and not at the front. Therefore, the face of the ear is a bit slanted. The concha also pushes the ear out more at the top than at the bottom. This also gives the ear a slant from the front. Placing the ear on the head. As artists, we need to know where to place the ears correctly on the head. When drawing a portrait from the front, your ears are in line with your brow line and your nose. This only applies to adults and not children and the elderly. More on this later. When drawing the ear on the side of the head, the ear still remains in line with the brow line and the length of the nose. You will notice the ear starts where the jaw stops at the central horizontal line. The ear is not in line with the center line. It is tilted away from the center line. If you draw the head using the Loomis method, the ear is located in the lower quadrant of the circle. Ears also tend to help us determine the tilt of the head. When the head is tilted down, the ears move up. When the head is tilted up, the ears move down. Use the ears to help you determine the axis of your portrait before you start drawing all the facial features. The ear in basic shapes. Now that we know where to place the ear on the head, we move on to make sense of all the creases in the ear. A super easy way to break it down is to think of the number 9 and the letter Y. Do you see the resemblance? Remembering this number and a letter is a helpful way to not only simplify ears, but also to draw them from memory. Now, let's take a closer look at the structure of the ear to analyze the folds in the ear even more. The outer area is called the helix. The evil twin of the helix is called the antihelix, and this is our Y. The little knob protecting the ear tunnel is called the tragus, and his evil twin is called the antitragus. See, those are easy to remember. Just bear in mind 2 sets of twins. Then there is the ear notch that looks like a keyhole, and the lobe that we usually pierce. Ears come in many shapes and sizes, and people's conchas and helixes really determine how far the ear protrudes from the skull or how big they look. We also get various lobes. There is the hanging lobe, known as the free lobe, or the attached lobe. Regardless of your subject matter, you always need to determine the direction of your light source when doing art. When the light source is coming from the general right-hand top corner, light tends to fall on the ear like this. The top of the helix is lit, as well as the bulge of the antihelix and the antitragus. This casts dark shadows on these areas. The darkest value usually indicates the entrance to the ear tunnel. When shading the ear, be aware of the contours, the little indents and the bulges. This usually helps me a lot in determining which edge of the helix, antihelix and antitragus catches the light and which edge is cast in shadow. As an artist, you also need to be aware of how ears change through the different stages of life. Babies have the cutest little ears, and to me they look like they are made out of icing sugar. So cute and petite. But then we start to grow up. Bones stop growing after puberty, and muscles and fat cells also stop dividing. But cartilage, that plastic-like stuff in ears and noses, cartilage continues to grow until the day you die. Not only does cartilage grow, but the earlobes elongate from gravity, and that makes your ears look even larger. I've seen some old men with massive noses and long droopy ears. For exercise number 1, I'd like you to familiarize yourself with the basic shapes of the ear. Practice the 9Y technique and see if you can add the shading as well. For exercise 2, I'd like you to draw ears from various angles. See if you can determine the head's main axis by looking at the ears.
That's it for this lesson, and I hope you guys now know how to approach this complicated little cauliflowers. Be sure to like and subscribe our channel and stay tuned for more lessons.